This is CBC Here and Now.
Here with 14-year-old Brady Strugnell, who has his own home rental business. He's only 14 years old. Brady, how's business?
Business is great.
We'll talk to him more coming up on Here and Now.
Good evening, I'm Debbie Cooper.
And I'm Carolyn Stokes.
The goal of the Muskrat Falls inquiry today was to determine what consultation government had with Indigenous groups.
It wanted to look at the issues that were raised and the actions taken to address those concerns. Here Now's Katie Breen is live to explain how that went.
So Katie, what did the government have to say?
Well, the Deputy Minister of Indigenous Affairs was on the stand for most of today. He explained that the government engaged with 10 Indigenous groups, 7 from Quebec and 3 in Labrador, and he said the idea was to treat them all the same.
That way, those with the severest impacts and the strongest claims get the consultation they deserve, and those with the weakest impacts and the weakest claims get more than they deserve, but no one is prejudiced by the process. Those who are entitled to a Cadillac got it. Those who were entitled to a Lada got a Cadillac, but everyone got a car to drive.
But the lawyer for one of the Quebecanoo groups doesn't think Indigenous groups were given a great car. At the inquiry today, he argued the Indigenous consultation was essentially the same as the environmental assessment. They happened in conjunction of one another, according to the Deputy Minister, but he said there were differences.
When the public provides comments to the government of Newfoundland and Labrador, we do not write them back. The comments go in and the decision comes out. With respect to the concerns of Indigenous organizations, when they wrote comments in, there was a written reply, and if the Indigenous organization was not satisfied with the reply, they could request a meeting or a conference call, I believe, within a week to have further discussions on the matter.
The Deputy Minister said today that government delegated certain aspects of Indigenous consultation to Nalcor, but he said he was confident in what the Crown Corporation was doing, that it was making reasonable overtures to hear the concerns of all Indigenous organizations.
The fact the project was released from environmental assessment on March 12, 2012, indicates the province was satisfied with all aspects of the project.
The inquiry picks up again tomorrow with Nuatuvut leader Todd Russell scheduled to take the stand. Reporting live from the newsroom, I'm Katie Breen for Here and Now.
A 33-year-old woman was killed last night when her vehicle crashed on the outskirts of Roddickton on the Northern Peninsula. It happened around 8 p.m. There were 3 people in the vehicle when it went over an embankment. The other 2 people were taken to hospital, but police say their lives are not at risk. The RCMP is still investigating and says it has not yet determined if the driver and passengers were wearing seatbelts.
7 charges have been laid in connection with the death of a man working on the Maritime Link worksite near Stephenville Crossing last year. 30-year-old Phil Parsons of Stephenville died in an industrial accident at the Indian Head worksite in January. Occupational Health and Safety has laid 5 charges against PowerTel Utilities contractors. Those charges include failure to provide and maintain a safe workplace. A supervisor also faces 2 charges, including failure to advise workers of health and safety hazards. Both are scheduled to appear in court in Stephenville later this month.
We're told that the one in Francie Nolan's yard was neither a pine nor a hemlock.
What is a tree grows in Brooklyn?
You're on the plus side with 1,200.
The St. John's lawyer appeared on Jeopardy last night, and tonight we're putting her to the test. Question: who is Kirsten Morey? That's in 20 minutes.
Well, more sunshine on the way tomorrow for the island. Rain and strong winds across Labrador, but looking forward to a little boost in temperatures on Friday as we head into this long Thanksgiving Day weekend. All the details are coming up.
Well, there's no place for politics in private labor disputes. That's the word from the NL Employers Council. They are concerned about comments from the Premier and opposition leader regarding the potential for the legislature to intervene in the DJ Composites lockout. Locked out workers at DJ Composites in Gander were encouraged when the Premier agreed to meet with Unifor leaders this week. They asked for the legislature to reconvene and impose binding arbitration to settle the lengthy dispute, something the Premier and opposition leader didn't rule out. The Employers' Council says that would be a big mistake.
Done in response to very, very aggressive action by the union. They had a public shaming campaign for replacement workers. They've built a fence around a piece of private property. They're going to court next week, and the judge has said he's going to consider criminal charges against the actions that have been taken on the illegal picket line. And for comments to be made publicly that sort of concede to the demands of the union after those actions, that sets a precedent, and that is enabling more of that behavior, not only at this workplace, but on other unionized properties in the future if there's similar union disputes.
Coming up, in about 30 minutes, my full conversation with Richard Alexander.
Some residents in the Bon Bay area on the island's west coast want more of a say in the future of Gros Morne. About 50 people got together to form a committee to discuss concerns about development in the national park. The group says it's worried government won't balance development with preserving the area's natural beauty. This after Parks Canada replaced a boardwalk with a much wider gravel road earlier this year. The group says it hopes to have more communication with local government.
U.S. President Donald Trump is mocking the woman who testified that she was sexually assaulted by an American Supreme Court nominee, and critics are outraged. Christine Blasey Ford has accused U.S. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault. Last week, Trump called Ford a credible witness. But last night at a rally in Mississippi, Trump mocked her testimony in front of a cheering crowd.
36 years ago, this happened. I had one beer, right? I had one beer. Well, do you think it was? Nope, it was one beer. Oh, good. How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know. I don't know. What neighborhood was it in? I don't know. Where's the house? I don't know. Upstairs, downstairs, where was it? I don't know. But I had one beer. That's the only thing I remember. And a man's life is in tatters. A man's life is shattered.
Now, Ford's lawyer is calling Trump's attack, quote, vicious, vile, and soulless. And there's other reaction. Democratic Minority Leader Chuck Schumer spoke in the U.S. Senate and called on the president to apologize immediately.
And Trump's outright mockery of a sexual assault survivor, riddled as it was with falsehoods, was reprehensible, beneath the office of the presidency, and beneath common decency from one person to another. President Trump owes Dr. Ford an immediate apology. For too long, far too long, survivors of sexual assault have been afraid to come forward because they thought that powerful men would shout them down, and destroy their character. The President of the United States, the most powerful man there is, confirmed those fears for millions of women.
It isn't easy starting your own business, especially when you still have homework to do. But that's what a 14-year-old in Labrador City is doing. He's renting out the house next door, and he says business is good. Jacob Barker swung by to learn more.
If you're heading to Lab City and you need a place to stay, there's this place. It has 3 bedrooms, sleeps 5, the usual kind of thing you'd see on Facebook or Airbnb. The unusual thing about this place, it's this guy.
I mean, most of the looks that I get, they're like, what? You're 14 doing this? They're pretty shocked most of the time.
He's like a very young Hilton. Brady Strugnall calls his rental bunker down.
Maybe like a Newfie slang kind of term.
The house belongs to his parents, but he's running the show.
I rent the house next door.
It'll run you just over $100 a night. Brady doesn't need an allowance.
Business is pretty good now. Rent it every now and again, like probably 4 or 5 times a week.
He's wanted to be a landlord since he was 13. His parents took a chance on their budding hotelier after the last tenant moved out. Brady pays the power and insurance, and this new furniture, he's reimbursing the bank of mom and dad.
And who cleans up after them?
That would be me.
But all this landlording can't get in the way of his homework.
Schoolwork is definitely got the biggest priority over everything.
Sometimes it gets tricky. My cousin, she's also helping to manage calls and stuff while I'm at school.
And it's not the first time Brady has found success.
4 years ago, he did his candy stand business, and they were for a little candy stand, they were hugely successful.
She, of course, is proud.
This is just something else that he wanted to take on and try, and I have no doubt he'll be great at it. He'll be successful at it.
Brady says for now it's just a way to make some extra money, but maybe he'll grow the business as he grows up.
I mean, I think it might be a little bit too early to say now, but maybe in the future.
Jacob Barker, CBC News, Labrador City.
There's a development tonight in the lockout in Gander between DJ Composites and its workers represented by Unifor. Here Now's Garrett Berry is live at the picket line right now. So Garrett, what can you tell us?
This is all very new. In fact, the workers behind me have literally just been told, and not really even away from their meeting, but here's what we know right now. Unifor has just told its members that the company, DJ Composites in this case, will agree, or has so far agreed, to binding arbitration. That is what the union here has been pushing for the past couple of days. The Premier told Unifor's representatives today that the company has agreed, and a subsequent call between Unifor and DJ Composites has also confirmed that the company is agreeing right now to a binding arbitration. Now, no contract has been signed. There hasn't been a signed agreement about heading to binding arbitration, so it's still a little bit tentative. Things are still a little bit up in the air, but the union behind me is certainly claiming victory. They just had a bit of an impassioned rally right now, very upbeat. There's some music playing, and they're very happy, saying essentially that they won, claiming victory in this case. Now, I'm told that arbitration will take quite a while, and it won't be over anytime soon, so the lockout still continues. However, there is now an end in sight. As for the picket behind me, that's not going to break up in any big way until a arbitration contract has been signed. That is a contract that has both sides agreed, an arbitration hearing will be held. Following that, a smaller presence on the picket line will continue, just as it's been continuing here with the local representatives for the next couple of months, maybe while the arbitration hearings actually take place. But following that, when a new collective agreement is in place, the lockout will be over, and Unifor expects its members behind me will return to work. Reporting live for Here Now, I'm Garrett Berry in Gander.
I'm a bit of a hothead, and I see what's going on in the world, and it really makes me angry a lot.
Fueling that frustration into art. The antics of the American president provoke these young men to pen Trump the musical. That's ahead. There was a lot of frost on the ground this morning.
Oh, yeah, very, very chilly. But then the sun came out and things were quite nice today in St. John's. And we have another nice day coming tomorrow. Actually, the entire island is looking at quite a lovely day tomorrow. Labrador, not so much. Let's start with a look at the highs today on the island. A lot of double-digit temperatures. St. Lawrence got up to 13 degrees. In Labrador, Happy Valley, Goose Bay, 9 degrees as the high today. Lots of rain on the way for that area. You can see a few little showers in Labrador overnight tonight, and on the southwest coast of the island, some rain moving up the coast overnight tonight. On the island, we're looking at temperatures between 5 and 8 degrees and 11 degrees in the Port aux Basques area. So Port aux Basques is looking at the most rain, about 5 millimeters coming down in that area tonight. And it's going to be pretty windy in the Rec House area, looking at gusts up to 80 there tonight. Not so windy elsewhere on the island, and in the east and central, looking at a mainly cloudy night tonight. For Labrador, chance of showers throughout the evening, and 5 degrees in Lab City overnight tonight, and some light winds there in Labrador tonight. So as we head into tomorrow, we have some rain pushing across Labrador as well as the island, but this is only going to last for the morning. Then things are going to start to clear off quite nicely. Here we are at noon, and you can see that the southwest coast, Corner Brook area is starting to clear out of those showers, and it's moving up to the Straits area there, so it's going to be wet in that area, as well as Lab West and up through the north coast there, Happy Valley, Goose Bay, pretty much everywhere in Labrador is going to be looking at some rain tomorrow. But here in the east, we're looking at lots of sunshine, a southeasterly wind, 20 gusting to 40. So it's going to be another really nice day, 14 degrees as the high in St. John's for the entire Avalon Peninsula. And then as we head into the central area, we're looking at 17 degrees as the high. So that's not so bad, with lots of sunshine to enjoy there. On the west coast, those showers in the morning, but then looking at sunshine in the afternoon. Corner Brook heading up to a high of 16 degrees tomorrow. So once you get past that morning rain, things are going to be quite nice. In the Straits, going to be much wetter. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain expected for the Port au Choix, St. Anthony area, as well as Cartwright, looking at 5 millimeters of rain, and the winds are going to be pretty strong in this area as well. We're looking at a southerly wind gusting up to 70 tomorrow, so it's going to be wet and it's going to be breezy, as well as the rest of Labrador. Looking at very similar conditions. Nain could see upwards of 15 millimeters of rain tomorrow and a southeasterly wind gusting to 70, so breezy really right along the whole coast. Even Happy Valley, Goose Bay is looking at a pretty windy day tomorrow with gusts up to 80. 5 millimeters of rain expected there, but fairly warm. 15 degrees as the high for Happy Valley, Goose Bay. In Labrador City, 10 millimeters of rain expected there with 10 degrees as the high. So we are heading into a long weekend and things are looking pretty good. Actually, on Friday, we're looking at a nice bump in temperatures. We're looking at maybe 19 degrees. Swear to God, on Friday. So I'll get into all of those details a bit later. Debbie?
Thanks, Carolyn. No, this is not fake news. A musical about American President Donald Trump premieres tomorrow night at the Arts and Culture Center in St. John's. Trump, with 2 M's, the musical, is an original 15-song show written by 2 young men who say they were fueled by their own frustrations. Here now's Jeremy Eaton stopped by a dress rehearsal this week.
Absolutely, positively incredible, remarkable day.
I was coming back from my buddy Kyle McDavid's house. He's playing Mike Pence in the show. And we were talking, and something about the conversation just kind of sparked this idea, and I went home and I wrote the opening number to the show. And then about a week later, I had this rough draft of the first act and went, this is horrible, I need Spencer to look at it. Because we've been doing stuff together since grade 5. We started our first band, and he jumped right in on it, and within a month we had a whole show. And then we just kind of kept working on it and making new scripts. I'd say every month we probably had another draft of the script.
5 different endings, a bunch of different characters, and this is the final one, this one we landed on, and we're pretty excited about it.
It's a presidential day.
I'm a bit of a hothead and I see what's going on in the world and it really makes me angry a lot. And when I kind of had this opportunity to say what we wanted to say and deliver it in the way we wanted to deliver it, we just couldn't pass it up. It was really important to me, being a younger person who's usually our generation is looked at as not having anything to do with politics. So it was really important to kind of have our stance on it and say our piece.
It's just your little sister Susie looking after your soul.
Well, when you look at the poster, you hear about it, you think Trump and Trump only, but there's a lot more to it than that. We have a bunch of interns, 2 interns in particular, Max and Susie. Max, played by Peter McDonald, and Susie, Miranda McDonald. They notice things within the house and they see what has to change and kind of the truth behind everything that's going on, and they decide it's time to take a stand, and that's what they do.
We should remain steadfast that our president has a...
It was a very different experience because you get this perception in your head because the musicals that we do usually are well known, but this one nobody knows, including ourselves. So, and what I found interesting was that with Marinoff doing my wife Fernella McDonald and Valerie Long, our music person, putting it all together, the different visions, mending it together, and of course you get the feedback from Peter and Spencer. So it was quite an experience.
I just think this is a show for everybody. Kids, adults, teenagers, everybody in the mix. And it's so important to just come see this stuff, not only to support local theater and local people, but if you want to see something happen in the world, if you want a change to happen, you have to be that change.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We're told that the one in Francie Nolan's yard was neither a pine nor a hemlock.
What is a tree grows in Brooklyn?
You're on the plus side with 1,200.
She appeared on Jeopardy last night and brought home a little cash. Just ahead, we put Kirsten Morey to the test on our own version of Jeopardy.
Land and Sea returns with a brand new season, beginning Sunday, October 14th. That's at noon on the island, 11:30 in most of Labrador.
This is Jeopardy! Here are today's contestants. A lawyer from St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada, Kirsten Morey.
Yes, Kirsten Morey made her debut last night on Jeopardy! She answered some questions correctly, including a daily double that turned her fortunes around. But she ultimately ended up losing to a defending champion during Final Jeopardy!
Kirsten, let's see if you came up with the correct response. You wrote down, who is Daniel Day-Lewis? No, he's won acting Oscars, believe me, a number of them. It'll cost you $2,000, you dropped to zero.
And Kirsten Morey is here in our TV studio now to talk about her experience. First of all, congratulations for making it on Jeopardy!
Thank you so much. I'm really happy.
Well, so we just saw that final moment, you betting it all on the final Jeopardy! It wasn't the outcome that you were hoping for, I'm sure.
No, indeed.
But can you describe what that was like for you, those final moments?
Oh, for sure. So my perspective as the game progressed was that I had one chance and I wanted to make the most of all the chances that I had for success. So I was ringing in a little more aggressively on ones that I was less sure about. And by the time Final Jeopardy came around, I got kind of hung up on the category. Oscar hyphenates was the way that it was described. So I'm not familiar, and well, I'm very familiar now, but the word hyphenate can be used as a noun, and when it is, it means someone who does multiple things. Now, when I think of director-actor or director-producer, I think of slashes in between, so the clue misdirected me. When I hear the word hyphen, I think of hyphenated last names. So I was searching for someone who met that criterion, and try as I might, I couldn't think of anyone but Daniel Day-Lewis. As Alex pointed out, he has won many Oscars. As I know too, and yet here we are.
So it was a little bit confusing, that final question.
Absolutely, in my opinion, but I can't really fault the show for using a word I didn't know. It's a test of knowledge.
Right. You know, it's one thing to be sitting at home on your couch, yelling at the screen, the answers to the questions, but what was it like for you to actually be there in the studio, under the lights, in front of the audience, knowing everyone was watching?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a very big change in your level of comfort. So the sensation of stress in my body was something I had never felt to that extent ever before, and not since either. I think it's a very intense experience. I was really trying to acquit myself honorably, and you're only in so much control, because much as I practiced my timing when I was watching episodes, I had no feedback on whether my timing was correctly calibrated or not. And then, of course, when you're doing it for real, your timing is relative to the other contestants. So if other people are beating you, then, well, what can you do?
And the timing, too, because you have to press the buzzer, so there's, you know, a feedback that has to happen there. So was it tough to figure that out in the moment?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it was tough to figure out the buzzer for sure. I was trying, I mean, during the first segment, leading into the interview there, I think I only managed to ring in on 1 or 2 questions, and I got one wrong, which was not really a confidence booster in itself. But one of the producers came over and gave us a bit of a pep talk at commercial time, and I turned things around a little bit during Double Jeopardy and managed to be out of the red for final, which was good in itself.
And how did you feel about your performance in the end?
You know what? I'm actually really proud of myself. Ultimately, Jeopardy contestants are sort of like grains of sand on the beautiful beach that is the show Jeopardy. Most people who visit a beach don't remember the individual grains of sand, of course. They just remember the whole experience. And I'm part of this Jeopardy community now. It's a show that's been on the air for 35 years. It's an absolute icon, and I do feel proud to have competed and enjoyed myself.
And why did you decide, I want to be a contestant on Jeopardy?
Well, it came from I mean, the actual impetus was sort of silly. I made a comment to my boyfriend like, "Oh, it's terrible that Canadians can't be on Jeopardy. I wish I could go." And he pointed out that that was totally wrong. That was based on a quickly retracted article, or not retracted, but it was a very brief policy slip up there. Now, as far as my motivation, though, I guess I'm not someone who likes to count myself out of opportunities prematurely. I felt like I could, given the opportunity, perform decently on Jeopardy. And I think that's true. You know, you need a little bit of luck for the ultimate success. Not to take anything away from my competitors, of course. They did a great job, and that's just how it shook out that particular day.
And you had to keep this secret since July, but what's it like for you now that it's finally out there, and how have people reacted to you?
It's been a huge relief, actually. I'll be honest, yesterday I was sort of in a bit of a spiral of dread because I knew the outcome. I was sort of fearing the disappointment of others, but everyone has been very supportive. Everyone understands that it's an achievement in itself to be there, that I was doing the best I could under a lot of pressure, and I've been actually really moved by the nice messages I've been getting and the support from my friends and family.
Yeah, I found it nerve-wracking watching you. I can't even imagine how you must have been feeling.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I honestly identify a lot more with like athletes and other competitive people. Also, of course, anyone whose job it is to not appear awkward on television. Right. That's a skill in itself.
Well, you didn't take home the big prize on Jeopardy, but we wanted to know if you were willing to play our version of Jeopardy.
You know, I would. There's nothing I want more than to play Jeopardy again, and I would love to join in.
All right, let's give it a go.
Sure.
All right, Kirsten, here's your first clue.
Okay.
He was the first premier of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Who is Joey Smallwood.
Correct. All right, here's the next clue. What is the number of sausages in a can of Vienna sausages?
Well, let's see. I think just based on geometry, I'm gonna guess 7.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, here is your third and final clue. This method actor with a hyphenated last name caught pneumonia while filming Gangs of New York when he refused to wear a modern winter coat.
Is it Daniel Day-Lewis?
Correct.
Or Ben Affleck. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been great to be here.
3 out of 3, and we do have a prize for you.
Oh my gosh.
I know they were really tough questions, but you did a great job. Here you
Thank
go.
you so much. I certainly feel like a Jeopardy champion now. I really appreciate you inviting me here.
Thanks for being a good sport.
Hey, no problem.
And Kirsten really is a good sport. Congratulations to just be a contestant on the show to her. Well, people from this province have appeared on American game shows before, including the ever-popular The Price is Right. We've put together this look back at some of those contestants.
Roger Taylor, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
I was really excited, but I didn't, it's like it happened so quickly and it seemed so unreal.
What was the highest bid?
The highest bid is 900.
901.
901. The actual retail price is 1,057. Come on, Roger.
It was on to the rangefinder game. He was successful here as well, winning a Marine West sailboat worth almost $5,200.
Mary Lou has every reason to remember this high priest of consumer miracles. 1 month ago, while on their honeymoon, she and Dale dropped in on Bob Barker's show. Next thing, Mary Lou heard herself called to the stage.
I shook my head and I said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it, I can't believe it," and screamed and shouted.
After 18 years of watching, Lee Burry got the invitation he'd been waiting for.
Lee Burry, come on down!
Just being able to go on the show, when Bob comes out and you know you're in contestant's role, Mom was always on my mind the whole way through.
And she may have brought him a little luck. On his third bidding try, Burry decided to edge out the competition by $1.
601, Bob.
601 for Lee.
And then he made the cut.
And Lee, the winner.
The race game was his challenge. The prize?
an elegant dinette set, a handy vacuum, an acoustic guitar, and a new washer and dryer.
I'd like to say hi to everybody back home in Lewisport, Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada.
$4.55.
$4.55.
$6.01.
$6.01. The actual retail price is $7.88, and Scott will be joining me on the stage. Hello, Scott. Oh,
Scott. 3,500 miles, and I'm here!
And what might he win?
About a cruise to the Greek Isles.
Oh my gosh.
So excited.
I think he's excited. He was. 2007. I didn't realize there were so many from this province that were on that show.
Me neither.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
St. John's has a new crime-fighting hero. Meet Rex coming up.
Well, a major development tonight in the lockout between DJ Composites and its unionized employees. The company has agreed to go to binding arbitration, but an official document has not yet been signed, so the picket line will remain in place for now. In the meantime, the province's Employers' Council has been urging the government to stay out of the dispute. This after the Premier met with Unifor executives earlier this week. Richard Alexander is the president of the Employers' Council. He spoke with Debbie earlier this afternoon.
Thanks very much for being here. Let's get right to it. What's your big concern?
Well, our concern is that there are public comments being made by the Premier and in particular the Leader of the Opposition, which appear to be conceding to union demands to open up the legislature and use the power of the legislature to impose a collective agreement on a private company and a private union. something that is, in this type of a situation, almost without precedent in Canadian labour relations history. But even more concerning in that for us is that it's being done in response to very, very aggressive action by the union. You know, they had a public shaming campaign for replacement workers. They've built a fence around a piece of private property. They're going to court next week, and the judge has said he's going to consider criminal charges against the actions that have been taken on the illegal picket line. And for comments to be made publicly that sort of concede to the demands of the union after those actions, that sets a precedent, and that is enabling more of that behavior, not only at this workplace, but on other unionized properties in the future if there's similar union disputes.
Well, let's just get back to the point about using the legislature to impose binding arbitration. It is a tool that's used in labor disputes. What's wrong with using it here?
Well, it's used in labor disputes, but in very, very specific situations. Typically, government will use it where there's a public service or public safety is at risk, so like ambulance attendants or something, or the strike is causing severe economic impact on a jurisdiction, so things like a railway or airports or Marine Atlantic, for you will. But for a government to intervene in a private disagreement between a private employer and a private union where there's none of those conditions being met, is precedent setting. It is exceedingly rare. We've never heard of any situation where a legislature has used that kind of power to affect that kind of change, and it would send a very, very bad message about Newfoundland's competitiveness to investors, to businesses. Every unionized worker, every unionized workplace could be afraid of having to face that same type of government intervention in private affairs. It's not something that happens in Canada.
Just expand on what you think might be the impact of this if this precedent were set on future labor disputes. Just expand a bit on that.
Yeah, so you know, we already have sort of a precedent set now where there's been demands from a union that has taken very aggressive action for politicians to get involved in a private labor dispute. So we would assert that, you know, getting politics involved in labor disputes, that's not going to resolve things. That's actually going to make it go on longer and longer and turn it into a political issue.
Why would they go on longer and longer?
Well, then it becomes less about the two parties that have the disagreement. If you have two parties that have a disagreement, the only way, or the best way, the proven way to prevent further labor unrest in the future is to get those parties to come to an agreement that both of them can live with. If a third party like government or politicians get involved and impose an agreement, more than likely one or both of those parties will not be happy with the outcome, and then the next round of collective bargaining, we get another labor dispute. So getting involved, it's always best practice in labor relations to let the parties resolve this themselves.
We've got about a minute left. Richard Alexander, just on this point, DJ Composites has been found guilty of bargaining in bad faith twice. They've hired so-called scabs or replacement workers. Their salaries to the workers in Gander is nowhere near what they pay in other places where they operate. So what is the solution to this?
Well, I think, you know, I've been doing this long enough and looking at these issues long enough to know that when you look at labor disputes, there's probably a very good reason why the union hasn't accepted the contract, and there's probably a very good reason why the employer has not accepted what the union is offering. If we want labor peace, we have to allow those two parties, no matter how long it takes, to come to an agreement that both of them can live with.
Richard Alexander, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Well, St. John's has a new action TV star. Film crews are hitting the streets tomorrow to start shooting Rex, a show about a crime-solving duo which includes a dog. It's a reboot of the Austrian program Inspector Rex, which aired in more than 100 countries in the 1990s. Only now, the star of this show is a Newfoundlander.
We started looking where we would shoot Rex and where we would set Rex. That's actually more important in a way. We're setting this in St. John's. It is St. John's. We're not pretending it's somewhere else. The only partner we could think of was going to Paul, and as he said, we started that conversation 4 years ago.
How big is this for the local film scene? You know, to have work leading through the fall right into Christmas.
Well, I think that from the crew perspective, if you just go back in the last year, the crew would have worked on Little Dog, then they would have worked on Frontier, and then they would have worked on Little Dog 2. Now they're on Rex till Christmas, and they'll be on caught or 2 or something after that. So that's how you get an excellent crew. There has to be reliable, sort of continuous employment. And now we'll start building a sort of second level crew. But, you know, it's like they're hot and ready, as we like to say.
Tell me a bit about the training for these dogs.
It has been very intense. Diesel here is a grand champion show dog, so really had not a whole lot of movie training behind him. So yes, it's been very intense, his training with learning how to, you know, jump over buildings and walls and the Superman stunts. But yeah, he's accepted it very well, and the other 2 are phenomenal. All young dogs. So the oldest dog is Diesel at 2. So it's a young crew of dogs that we have out. I got to tell you, the people out here are phenomenal. We've been prepping, and people will stop and talk to us. And then I'm in the grocery store, and they're like, "How's Rex?" And I'm like, "Oh my Lord, you know Rex." I'm going down the street, and they're honking, and they're like, "Hi." I'm like, "Hi." "Oh, geez, how's Rex?" I'm like, so Rex is getting well known around the town.
Are you worried it's going to go to his head?
I said to him today, "Do you have any idea what you're in for, buddy?" So yeah, he better not.
Here's a live shot of St. John's Harbor. Getting pretty dark out there, isn't it?
Yes, very early, but that's the way it happens at this time of the year, doesn't it?
It
At least
certainly
it's
does.
brighter than it might be because it's not too overcast.
No, we're in for a decent night, a nice calm night in St. John's. Some showers on the way for Labrador. I'll break it all down after the break.
Welcome back, everyone. Time to have a look ahead in the weather forecast. So far, we know tomorrow's looking good for the island.
It is looking good, and the weekend is looking good if you're making plans right now. If you're on the island, Saturday is looking like the better day than Sunday. We're looking at a mix of sun and cloud on Saturday for most of the island, and then some showers on Sunday. So take note. Things could change. It's still a little bit early. We're still on Wednesday, but that's how it's looking so far. So why don't we have a look at how things are shaping up overnight tonight. We have a few showers there on the southwest coast, a few scattered showers in Labrador, lots of overcast skies there. Tomorrow morning, some of those showers on the island start to clear off, and then showers in Labrador start to intensify. So Labrador is looking at a pretty windy, pretty wet day, but as we get into the afternoon on the island, things clear off really, really nicely. So pretty much the entire island in the afternoon is looking at quite a nice day, but you can see all of the rain and action there in Labrador tomorrow. In St. John's, looking at a high of 14 degrees with some sunshine tomorrow and pretty light winds. As we get into Central, 17 degrees as the high there with lots of sunshine to enjoy. Those morning showers there on the west coast, and it's going to be quite windy in the Rec House area, gusts up to 80 there tomorrow, but then things will clear off in the day, and that rain will move up towards the Straits. So if you're in St. Anthony, you'll be getting about 5 to 10 millimeters of rain there, and the Straits quite breezy there tomorrow as well. We're looking at southerly winds, 40 gusting to 70 throughout the day. 5 millimeters of rain for the Happy Valley Goose Bay area, and it looks like Nain is probably going to get hit hardest in terms of rainfall. 10 to 15 millimeters of rain expected there, and lots of wind as well in western Labrador. So as we head into Thursday evening, that's when the west coast of the island is going to get hit with some pretty heavy rain, but this is at 4 a.m. So yeah, it's pretty early. Things are clearing off in Labrador, and then as we get through the day on Friday, some showers in the east on the Avalon Peninsula, but the rest of the island looking really nice and clear. So we are looking at 19 degrees as the high for the east on Friday. So a mostly cloudy day with a chance of some showers. For central area, morning showers, then clearing off throughout the day, leading to some sunshine, and 15 degrees there, 10 degrees in western Newfoundland with those morning showers. And for Labrador, still pretty windy in the west, but lots of sunshine to enjoy. 9 degrees as the high in eastern Labrador. So for Friday evening into Saturday, not much is happening. It's pretty clear. We have a bit of cloud cover there on the island, but Labrador is looking great, nice and clear. So Saturday is looking lovely, a bit cooler, 11 degrees mostly on the island, 3 degrees in western Labrador. So then, as I mentioned earlier, as we get into Sunday, 9 degrees with some showers, clearing though on Monday, which is a holiday for most. So same story for central areas and as well for the west coast. We have sunshine, showers, and sunshine on Monday. And for eastern Labrador, a nice stint of sun and cloud there for 4 days in a row. And for western Labrador, some nice sunshine on Saturday, and that continues on until you head back to work next week. That's your forecast. Debbie, back to you.
Thanks again, Carolyn. Well, to PEI now, where the population of Charlottetown took quite a jump this week. About 36,000 people live in the city, but the arrival of 4 cruise ships meant more than 11,000 visitors all at once. Steve Bruce reports on a very busy day in the country's smallest province.
For some cruise ship passengers, this was not the PEI they expected. The gentle island looking more like downtown Toronto. That's what happens when 4 ships, one of them the biggest Charlottetown's ever seen, all dock at once.
Once we docked and started to get off, we saw that there were going to be 4 here, so that should be quite busy today.
Fall is peak cruise ship season in Charlottetown, but most days there are just 1 or 2 ships here and 2,000 to 3,000 passengers. So gearing up for 8,000, well, that took some planning.
We've been talking about it probably for a good year now. Had a number of meetings with our shore excursion providers to talk about trying to do our best to stagger those tours at places that we know are popular spots like Green Gables.
Coach Atlantic's had to go off island to find enough buses for those shore excursions.
It was a struggle to get enough staff for today, but we've been planning for this day for a while. It's our busiest day in Charlottetown.
The Anne of Green Gables store knows a thing or two about busy. The manager says he too could use some more employees. He's had to get family and staff from the Cavendish store to step in to keep this line from getting too long.
Like today, it starts to be an issue. We don't want people waiting in line for half an hour, but anyway, it's a good problem to have, I guess.
but a problem Port Charlottetown says it would like to avoid. It says 4 ships and all these passengers are great, but ideally not all at once.
I don't know that we go out of our way to try to get 4 ships in one day. We try to increase our business over time.
4 ships will be docking here again in a couple of weeks, albeit with 2,000 fewer passengers. Steve Bruce, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Well, today we have not 1, but 2 viewer photos of the day from the same spot, from the same photographer, the same spot in the province. Just gorgeous colors. Love it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Those passengers in PEI could have used some calm vistas like that, I bet.
Definitely. I'll let you know where this shot was taken after the break. Now, before we get to the photo, earlier we were talking about people from this province who appeared on American game shows, and after that, Marilyn Butler called us.
Yep, she called to say her sister Cindy Cooney was also on The Price is Right. That was back in 1975. She was an RCMP officer, and what did Bob say?
Said it was the first time he'd ever met a mountain.
Marilyn, for watching here now and getting in touch with us.
Thank you. And here's a look at our viewer photos of the day. Beautiful shots taken on the West Coast. I'm so excited about this time of year and all of these wonderful photos coming in. Bay St. George, this was taken in, yeah, just fantastic.
Oh,
love these.
beautiful, beautiful colors. The sun, I guess, I'm not sure, sunset? I'm not sure, but
Hard
it's
to say.
beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Thanks very much, Jonathan.
Yeah.
And of course, we always love to get pictures, don't we?
We do. So if you have one, please email it to us at nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Thanks for being with us, everyone. Have a great night and see you tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.